Imagine standing by your window and seeing a ship on fire in the harbour. At first, it doesn't seem like a disaster. People stop to watch. Children press their faces against classroom windows. Workers pause to see what all the commotion is about. Then, without warning, the world explodes. In 1917, the city of Halifax, Canada, was struck by the largest man-made explosion in history before the invention of the atomic bomb. Entire neighborhoods vanished, buildings collapsed. A tsunami surged through the harbor. Thousands of people were injured in a matter of seconds. It sounds like something from a war film. But this wasn't a battlefield. It happened in the middle of an ordinary city on an ordinary morning. To understand how this happened, we need to travel back to Halifax during the First World War. Halifax was one of the busiest ports in North America. Ships arrived from around the world carrying supplies, passengers, and cargo. The harbour played a vital role in the war effort. Every day, enormous vessels moved through its narrow waters. Among them was a French cargo ship called the Mont Blanc. At first glance, it looked like any other ship. But hidden inside its cargo holds was an astonishing amount of explosive material. Thousands of tons of highly dangerous cargo intended for the war effort. On the morning of the 6th of December 1917, the Mont Blanc entered Halifax Harbour. At the same time, another ship, the Emo, was attempting to leave. The two vessels approached one another through the narrow channel. Signals were exchanged, warnings were given, confusion followed. Neither captain wanted to give way. Then the impossible happened. The two ships collided. The crash itself wasn't catastrophic, but it sparked a fire aboard the Mont Blanc. Thick black smoke rose into the sky. Flames spread across the deck. People gathered to watch. Children stared from school windows. Residents climbed onto rooftops. Nobody knew what was hidden inside the burning ship. For nearly 20 minutes, the city watched the fire grow. Then came the explosion. The blast was unlike anything Halifax had ever experienced. The Mont Blanc was torn apart instantly. A shockwave raced through the city. Buildings were flattened. Glass shattered for miles around. Entire streets disappeared beneath collapsing debris. Some estimates suggest the explosion released energy equivalent to thousands of tons of TNT. It was heard hundreds of miles away. People were thrown through the air. Fragments of the ship rained down across Halifax. A massive tsunami surged through the harbour. Chaos consumed the city. Those who survived struggled to understand what had happened. Rescue efforts began immediately. Neighbours searched for loved ones beneath the rubble. Doctors worked tirelessly to treat the injured. Soldiers, sailors, and ordinary residents joined together to help. But conditions were horrific. Thousands had been injured. Entire families had lost everything. And just as rescue efforts were underway, a blizzard swept through Halifax, making the situation even worse. By the time the disaster ended, nearly 2,000 people had lost their lives. Around 9,000 others had been injured. It remains one of the deadliest disasters in Canadian history. In the aftermath, investigations sought answers. How could such a catastrophe have happened? Questions were raised about responsibility, communication, and safety procedures. The disaster led to major changes in how dangerous cargo was transported through populated areas. It also demonstrated the extraordinary resilience of the people of Halifax. Communities rebuilt, neighbours supported one another, and help arrived from across Canada and beyond. More than a century later, the Halifax explosion remains difficult to comprehend. A city devastated in seconds, a burning ship mistaken for a spectacle, and one small chain of decisions leading to unimaginable consequences. It serves as a reminder that history's greatest disasters don't always begin with evil intentions. Sometimes they begin with ordinary people making ordinary choices. Choices that, under the wrong circumstances, change everything.